Hello everybody, good evening. Just jumping on quickly to do our day 3 live of the self-doubt to self-belief workshop. Hopefully you all got your workbooks okay this morning. I haven't heard anything to say that the links weren't working or anybody had any problems, so fingers crossed. I'm just going to jump on quickly and invite people again, just so that we can let people know that we are live and we're here. So I know there's a few people that aren't going to be able to make it, so that's fine. We know about them, so that's all right. So I'll just ramble for a couple of minutes until we can get a few people on, hopefully. So like I said, hopefully everybody received their workbooks okay, and it's going okay, your workbooks are loading properly, you're not having any issues, that kind of thing. If you are joining me, then make sure you drop me a comment, let me know that you're here, or kind of send me a little like or something so I know that you're with me. Otherwise I just feel like I'm rambling to myself, which I can do anyway. So just gonna make a start. So this week's kind of been going quite well so far, I believe, and hopefully the lives have been helping and just kind of adding to the workbooks themselves to give everybody a little bit of an opportunity to have some extra support. So hopefully it's all going okay. So the workbooks today were covering a kind of a range of different things. So we had the kind of introductory session of support. So this was about kind of getting somebody to be a support for you, just to kind of help you when things start to go a little bit sideways, really. And sorry, I'm laying down, so sorry. But yeah, it's more about kind of saying that when you start to flake a little bit, or you are maybe not feeling that you're doing so well, or possibly even feeling like you're going to give up, and you're going to need somebody there to basically give you a bit of a kick up the bum, really. So that's where we wanted to introduce the butt kicker, and simply it's somebody who's going to give you a kick up the backside when you need it. So the process that I had written down was giving you a small handful of attributes that person will need, and you can add to this because your own butt kicker will need a certain amount of attributes as well. But what I've got written down is that they need the ability to stand up to you. So you don't want anyone who's going to just go, oh, okay, when you start to argue back. You want somebody who's going to stand up to you and say, no. Somebody that actually wants you to succeed. So you want somebody that believes in you and wants you to do well, because otherwise they're not going to kick your butt. You know, they're going to go, oh, yeah, if you want to give up, because I don't think you should be doing it anyway. But somebody really believes in you and wants you to succeed. They're really going to help push you. So somebody that you trust, now that's huge, because this is somebody you're going to be giving your goals to. So you're going to be saying to them what it is you want to achieve, so that you want to stop doubting yourself and things like that. So really, you've got to be able to trust them, because you want to be able to advise them and tell them of all the kind of your secrets, really. And you want to be able to share your small breakdowns, or if things get tough and you want to have a chat with somebody, you want to be able to do that with them. So, you know, there needs to be somebody that you can trust, who isn't going to stick it all over Facebook, or, you know, throw it back at you and things like that. It needs to be someone that believes in you. We kind of, you know, we covered that in the description around the someone who wants you to succeed. You know, you want somebody who's going to do these things for you. I'm just going to move out the light a little bit. And most of all, and excuse my language, but you're going to want somebody who's not going to take your bullshit. really, ultimately, you know. So when you start to make excuses and stuff like that, you know, somebody's not going to, you know, buy into that crap, and they're going to call you out on your bullshit and say, look, do you know what, actually, you're talking rubbish and I'm not accepting that. So, you know, they're going to give you a little bit of what for. So that's really important. And for a little bit of fun, I gave you an invitation that you can use, because on the sheet beforehand it gave you a list of, you know, the attributes that are needed, the kind of things you're going to want it for, and it helps you to list it out. So you can write a list of names of people that you think might be a butt kicker, and then you can go through those attributes and kind of say yes or no to each person. So I'm not asking you to do a pros and cons list of your friends, because that can always backfire on you a little bit, and that's not always very nice. So I wouldn't suggest you do that. Excuse me moving around a lot, but my back's really sore today, so I can't actually get comfortable. So that was that sheet. Hang on, I'm going to sit up because I feel really uncomfortable. So excuse me, guys, I'm very sorry. And then you had your invitation. So that was done for just for a little bit of fun. If you want to print that off and send that to the person that you think is going to be your best butt kicker and invite them along to be it, then hopefully they'll say yes. And then you can, you've got someone at your side with you, you know, kind of pushing you when you need it and supporting you when you need it. So I'm just looking through my notes. I then gave you a whole host of journal sheets, bits of information and stuff like that. The reason for that was because journaling is very personal, and it's a really good idea to do, because when you keep a journal, it does help you to really kind of see if you are sticking to the things that you said you would. So like I said in the workbook, it's very easy to say, yeah, I do that. Or do you? You know, are you actually sticking to the things you say you are? And if you keep a journal, and it's not like keeping a diary, there's not as much kind of information in it, and you're not kind of having to give as much detail, or certainly not having to write as much down. But when you are looking at keeping a journal, what that will do is will just keep you on track and will help you to keep pushing yourself and keep going forwards, and allows you to have a place to write your thoughts down, so you can share your successes, you can congratulate yourself when you do well, and also you can kind of keep a track of the things that maybe are becoming barriers, and we will come to that later on in the workshop. But you know, from the journal point of view, this will allow you to kind of spot what kind of things get in your way and what kind of things cause you problems. So you're not always going to remember, so by keeping a journal, it just helps you to do that. And I gave you, I don't know, about 6, I think, different formats. And you can create these yourself. You know, you can draw them up yourself, write them out yourself. It can be a scrap of paper. It hasn't got to be anything fancy. And if you find it really works, then you can buy these online, like books, and, you know, whole, like, sort of diary versions of them with, you know, your 365 days of the year type thing. So you can take it as seriously as you like, but that's really down to you. And then I covered a little bit around law of attraction, and this is something that I'm new to, really. Well, not new to, because I think we all know about it. It's just knowing how we know about it and using it correctly, because I think we've always known that, you know, if you believe something, it happens, or if you want something enough, you get it, you know. And that's all law of attraction is, really. It's about, you know, kind of saying to yourself and the universe that you want something and what you're going to do to kind of get it. And I've got a real bad glare on my glasses. So I'm just going to kind of move over here. That's a bit better. So it's the law of attraction really is a little bit more new age at the moment, in the way that they are. It's become a bit of a fad, and it's a buzzword, and there's a lot about it at the moment. And I think it can be taken a little bit like it's a bit new age, and yeah, and it's not. It's an old system really that's always been around, but we're using it differently now. I think that's the main thing. So I put a little list there on how to do it, which included some meditation. If anybody doesn't know how to meditate or struggles with meditation, I've got two really simple techniques that I got from a book, basically, that I borrowed from a book, and they do work, and they're part of a sort of sleep program. And one is a real quick 5-minute meditation, and one is one that's a little bit longer, and they're a bit more easier to do. Some meditation sites are, they're quite long-winded, and you've got to really be able to focus and concentrate to do them. But for this, you really want to just kind of clear your mind, get rid of the day events and any worries and troubles that you might have. And then what you want to do is to start to imagine what it could be like to have what it is you're looking for, and you take it from there, and then you picture it, and then you pass on the picture to the universe, and then you make a list of all the things that you're grateful for. This goes back to the days of sacrificial sites, and okay, I'm not asking you to go and slaughter a lamb or anything like that, but that's basically what they used to do in the olden days. Was they wanted rain, they would ask for rain, they would slaughter a lamb, and eventually at some point it would rain in the future, and it would be all down to this kind of this sacrifice that happened. And really, law of attraction is the same, only it's more peaceful, and there's no lambs being hurt in it and stuff like that. So it's useful, and it does work. I was very skeptical, like severely skeptical to start with, and I did practice it a little bit, and it does have its place, it does work. And so I've included it. And for those of you that think it's a lot of bullshit, don't do it, don't use it. You don't have to. It's just another tool that you have access to, that you can use if you want to, that you think might be of benefit. What I don't want to do is only give you 2 or 3 things that worked for me, because obviously you want things that are going to work for you as well. So these kind of journals and law of attraction and all of that kind of stuff, if they're not for you, then I'm not checking up on you. You don't have to do it. It's there if you want to. And I gave me a nice little model there as well about you, kind of a little bit like the state management. And then I did include again your light bulb moment. So it was a much smaller, shorter workbook today, a lot less involvement. But not every day needs to be huge amount of homework. I've tried to compact each day into useful segments. So the first day was about understanding where your self-doubt comes from. Your second day was about understanding why and what you can do about it. Then today is about kind of keeping track of it and getting support with it. And that support comes from your butt kicker, it comes from your law of attraction, it comes from your journals. So there's 3 tools that you can use to keep yourself on track. And then tomorrow your workbook will arrive, as always, in your inbox as before. And this one is going to be the penultimate workbook, so it's almost your last one. And this is going to be, I've got my notes because obviously I wrote it a few days ago. So this is about coping with setbacks. So it's explaining how, yes, setbacks do happen, and I'm sorry, I really can't get comfortable. I'm ever so sorry about this. I keep moving around, but my back's really sore, so I'm going to try and sit in an upright position. So it's allowing you to know that yes, setbacks do happen, and they are a key part of learning. You are not going to go from being a self-doubter to a self-believer without any setbacks at all. It happens. And setbacks are a result of barriers. So barriers are either small things or whopping great big things that have kind of got in your way, that are, you know, it's a small tree on the journey somewhere, or, you know, it's a closed gate. It could be as small or as large as that. And what these barriers do is they try to stop your journey. They try to get in the way, and these can be people, places, anything really. And depending on what your self-doubt is and what you're looking for, and kind of how you're wanting your progression to work, will depend on the level of setbacks and barriers that you're going to have. But basically what tomorrow's workbook will do, will break down what the barriers can be, how to spot them coming further along, and also then how they might transfer into setbacks, and how you can start to get on top of that and stop those setbacks from setting you back. Basically, you know, you want to be able to see ahead of them. So there'll be a little bit more information about sort of your setbacks and your barriers. There's not, again, a huge amount for you to fill in. I'm just having a look at my notes here to make sure that that kind of covers everything. Yeah, I think that's going to be the main part for tomorrow. And then day 5 will be about evaluation. So, hello darling, how are you? Nice to see you. I've got a really awful glare and my back's really sore, so I am constantly moving around at the moment, so I'm sorry, I feel really fidgety, but it doesn't matter where I sit, it starts to hurt, so I'm in a big wuss and keep moving. So yeah, so day 5 will be all about your evaluation, and there are loads of forms to fill in for that one, but obviously that's going to be to just see how this week's helped you, but also how you're going to help yourself going forward. And those evaluation forms are going to be great because you can keep them for the future. And when you are dealing with a subject and you want to know kind of how you've dealt with it well, or you know what's changed, you can go back to those evaluation forms, and they're going to be able to help you to break down what you did well and how it went and all that kind of stuff. So it's all very, very coachy, but you know, it's brilliant, and I do love evaluation forms. There's also a little bit of begging in day 5 as well, because I am asking for testimonials, so I apologise for that in advance, but obviously the only way that I can make sure that this workshop continues to work for people is by getting feedback from you guys. You know, you're the first ones to do this. This is the first self-doubt workshop that I've done, so you know, I want to be able to make sure that the next one is just as good or even better. So, you know, if there's anything that you've struggled with or anything that actually didn't work particularly well, then, you know, that's your opportunity to kind of let me know. And I can then either put it right, take it out, you know, I can adjust it to suit. So that will be kind of good for me if you don't mind doing that. That'd be lovely. And I have put a little incentive in there for you, but that's day 5. So I'm not going to be doing a Facebook Live tomorrow because basically I'm looking at the workbooks. There isn't really a need for one at the moment. So, but if anybody does want one, so if when the workbooks come tomorrow you kind of would like me to jump on and explain it, then just drop me a message in the group and I will jump on tomorrow evening and do a quick live for everybody and just cover the workbooks. But it is quite a simple one tomorrow, so I don't think you need me to come through and explain it all. But you know, I've done a couple of Q&As this week and I haven't had anybody kind of come on with any disastrous queries, so I'm guessing that the workbooks are quite self-explanatory, which is brilliant and exactly what I wanted them to be. So if you do need me to jump on tomorrow, let me know. Other than that, there won't be any Facebook Lives tomorrow, but then I will jump on very quickly on Friday and do a final Q&A for the end of the week. So it's all going really well. Anyway, I am going to let you get on with your evening. I'm going to go and eat a nice big slice of cake that I made today. I made a big chocolate cake, so I'm going to go have a big slice of that and sit with my feet up and a cup of tea. So have a nice evening and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.